All right, so you ready to dive into this whole Kanban thing?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
I've been going through all this material you sent over, and wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot more to it than I think I realized just sticky notes. And
It is. It's actually a surprisingly deep system.
yeah, and you know what I found really fascinating was it started with Toyota back in the 1940s.
Yeah.
Like, who knew?
Yeah, it's funny how something so old can feel so relevant today, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Like it feels very modern, but it's rooted in this idea of lean manufacturing.
Right. And that's really at the heart of it. Toyota was obsessed with efficiency.
Yeah.
Eliminating waste, everything having its place. It's like a choreographed dance in a way.
I like that.
And Kanban was their way of making that dance happen visually.
Okay, so walk me through it.
Yeah.
Because I know you're big on this whole like calmer, more organized workflow.
Yes.
And two of the principles you highlighted from the research really jumped out. Visualize work and limit work in progress.
Yes, absolutely. Those are key, and they work together. So imagine this. You have a big whiteboard, right? This is your Kanban board.
Okay.
And it's divided into columns. Each column is a stage in your workflow, like to do, doing, done.
Makes sense.
Then you've got your tasks, each one on a card. And these cards, they move across the board.
Like a game board.
Exactly. It's visual. You see progress. Now, the magic happens with the limit work in progress part. By limiting how many tasks can be in play at once, you prevent bottlenecks.
Ah, okay. So it's like saying, okay, only 2 cars can be the car wash at a time.
Yes, exactly.
Otherwise, it's just a traffic jam, right?
Chaos. And that's what happens in our work, too. We try to do too many things at once.
Too many cars in the car wash.
Right. And we get stuck. One of the articles you shared talked about this marketing team that was constantly overwhelmed.
What did they do?
They tried Kanban. They focused on visualizing their workflow and set some hard limits on work in progress.
And what happened?
Their productivity skyrocketed. They could actually see what everyone was working on.
Oh, that's so interesting.
It's like they finally had a map to navigate their work instead of just stumbling around in the dark.
It's funny how just seeing it visually can make such a difference.
Huge difference. It brings a level of clarity and focus.
You know, it reminds me a bit of Scrum, which, we've talked about before.
Yes. And actually, one of the articles you sent compared the two.
Oh, really?
It said Scrum is like following a strict recipe, while Kanban is more like cooking by feel.
Oh, well, I like that.
Both can lead to a delicious meal.
Of course.
But the approach is different.
So Kanban's a bit more adaptable, less rigid.
Exactly. It's all about continuous flow, constant improvement.
But it's not a magic bullet, right? There are challenges.
Of course. Like anything worth doing, it takes effort. Sticking to those WIP limits, that can be really hard, especially at the beginning.
Right.
It takes discipline buy-in from the whole team. But the key is to start small. Don't try to boil the ocean.
Start small. Okay.
Find your biggest bottleneck and tackle that first.
So for someone listening right now who's thinking, okay, I'm intrigued by this Kanban thing, but where do I even begin? What's a good first step?
I'd ask them, where in your work or life could you use a little more visualization and flow? It doesn't have to be this big project. Even your personal to-do list can benefit from a Kanban approach.
That's a great point. It's about finding what works for you and your own workflow.
Exactly.
Well, this has been fascinating. I feel like I've learned so much.
It's all about continuous learning, right? That's the beauty of Kanban.
That's a great place to end it, I think.
Sounds good.
So we'll catch you all on the flip side for another deep dive soon. Keep those Kanban boards flowing.
And those ideas.
Yo.